Fine. Hi.
Hi. So finally, I get your time, and I've been trying for such a long time. So
Yeah, I know. It's been like a crazy few days. So.
Yeah, I mean, every alumni, they're like, I'm a busy season, Supriya. We're so sorry we want to do it, but it's, I'm busy. Everyone is caught up.
So I work in tax, but the audit busy season, I think it's still going on pretty much.
Okay.
And mine starts right now. And I was a little free. I had my own things going on, so I couldn't catch up with you earlier.
No, but then, we at Simandhar Engagement Council team is like happy and glad at the same time that we have this time. I mean, even if it's 10 minutes, it's kind of a huge thing for us here because people just want to know what's out there. Once you're getting like international qualification, people who dream about going abroad, they want to know like what's there, and I kind of feel UK is still very uncharted way for Indians specifically. Would you say?
I think that is just because it's pretty more the cost of living and everything is pretty more expensive.
Okay.
And the point is, for a US CPA, to be very frank, if you're in the audit stream, you do get jobs around UK. It's not only London based.
Right.
But if you are looking for a tax qualification, if you are going into venturing into tax and you want to come to UK, it's a very niche market. If you should understand, it's a very niche market because there's only a few companies or a CPA firms, or the big fours have their branches of US tax, which they use for private equity funds which are based out of London or around UK and are investing back in the US, or some corporations which have branches back in US which are based off here, which need requirement of US taxation. So those are the people who are going to set shop, and those are the work we get. Those are the type of work we get as US tax professionals in the UK. So it's a very niche market, very few, but there are opportunities, there are few, but to get your sponsorship, to be able to get here and to be able to, you need to understand the market first of all. And you will need help if you don't have network. You will need a lot of help from the recruiters. So to understand that and to, venture into it, it's a little tricky, but you can get there. But audit, I have seen people who've been here. They get a much easier way in, I think. Yeah, there are opportunities, but you need to, it depends on which
profile you want to, which profile you're looking into, So, coming back to you personally, did you always want to settle abroad? Did you have UK in mind always, or how was it?
It's not that. I actually was finishing my CA back in India.
Okay.
And I wanted to do an international qualification even when I was doing that, just to broaden my scope of things and to, aggregate my knowledge and stuff. But unfortunately, I needed a break from CA because I didn't finish my...
a lot of people need that. Let me tell you, I'm one of them.
I was vexed at a point, and I'm like, okay, I had this point. I need a break. I'll start working for some time. Maybe I'll get back to my final group 2 later on.
Okay.
And then when I was looking into jobs, I was like, okay, maybe I can do a US tax role because I always worked in tax. Even in Indian scenario where I was working on taxes mainly.
Right.
So I joined Deloitte. I used to work for a cross-border team there as well. I did not work for the US team. I was working for a Canadian team.
Okay, right.
Wherein we did a lot of cross-border tax issues for Canadian clients which had businesses in the US, which is pretty much what I'm doing. And my senior manager who hired me happened to be somebody from a CA background and who had made her career in US taxation. So she understood where I was coming from. And also because you have that 2-year requirement, you can use your CA studies to get certified for your license. But then I thought, okay, let me just venture into it. It could help me for my reg as well. And then I joined Deloitte. I worked there for around 2 years. And later on, I got married and I moved to UK. So it's not like I planned to come to the UK.
Okay. But it worked out all fine. I mean, in fact, it worked out really great. I mean, I would say that. Sitting from this side of the conversation, I'll definitely say that. It kind of worked out pretty well. I mean, up till now. So, when you said you were working here in India and then you started working in UK, did you find any cultural difference as such, professionally?
Professionally, so I've come to the UK like a year ago.
Okay.
A month to a year ago, almost a year ago. And I've started working with the firm I work right now for 6 months now.
Okay.
And the major difference I've seen is that there I was working on team sitting in India, working with people in Canada with around 12 hours difference. I was not actually able to, have a face-to-face conversation with whom I'm working with, or, go ahead and ask if, client contact is not something that can happen.
Okay.
When you're sitting back in India and there's a lot of time difference.
Okay. So that's happening more now.
So now we're asked to come to the marketing events. You have to, you have these client, it may be over a drink in the evening. They have a call on all the clients just for a social gathering. Right. And, you have to go speak with them. You need to build up your network. Right. It's been 6 months and I already went to one, even in the pandemic. So it is a lot, more client facing.
Okay. So more networking.
Yeah, more networking. Definitely.
Yeah, right. Which you didn't do it here. So like you said, you've been working for 6 months now there. So did you kind of face any challenges when you started working? Like in these 6 months, anything you've come across?
So far, I've been very fortunate. My team which I work with is really welcoming, and there are a couple of Indians. And I have one other person in my team who used to work in Deloitte India. When I was working in India. I mean, we had a brief, a hi bye there.
Right.
And people are very helpful. So I haven't had faced a challenge as such. But again, it depends on how much you are looking forward to learn the basics, how much you are technically good, and how much you are ready to understand before you just blindly do stuff. Right. So once you're strong with your basics, wherever you are able to get your work done better. You're going to get a better quality output. So it helps, bridge any gaps you may have.
Right.
Maybe it'll take a little communication when you're working in a team in a new location, but your work will speak for most of it.
Right, true. No, like now, we're just talking about being a US CPA and then the opportunities out there in UK. So like when we initially started talking, you did say that audit, there's more, I would say, opportunities for audit than in tax. Any other profile comes to mind apart from these two for an US CPA?
So to the extent I've ventured, since I had my US CPA, you are part qualified ACCA. You get around an exemption of 8 papers here.
Okay.
For an ACCA qualification.
Right.
So on the broader scope of things, if you want to go into pure finance, they prefer ACCA. Or ICAEWCA here.
CA there, right.
Yeah. Okay. It may come for the right candidate with the right qualification or some experience that you had in a similar field. It's easier to venture in. But if you're trying to move from, say, you worked in an audit predominantly, maybe 5 years down the lane you can move. But for somebody who's coming from tax to move to finance, they would expect me to know some knowledge about the local laws, because IFRS is something big, and we have IFRS, but then they want something which relates to what they've certified here.
Right.
There are challenges, but for the right candidate, if you're able to market yourself well, maybe there are opportunities. But so far I haven't ventured in them because I was more comfortable working in my tax regime. I was very comfortable with what I was doing. But yes, definitely you can use your qualification to hedge for having a better position as a partly qualified ACCA. If you're trying to venture into something, they do sponsor your ACCA. I know it's again studying for another period of time. You want to get into a job quickly, you want to do stuff. But if you're planning long term, and if you want to get into UK tax, or if you're looking to stay here long term and you want to do something specific, you have opportunities. But they may expect you to have finished your ACCA or a local qualification.
Right.
CPA is great, but the problem will be that for a tax professional to move, it'll come with its own challenges. It will come with studying how the market works, doing your own research on how things go, how you have to talk to people over LinkedIn, you have to talk to people everywhere. So just understand how the market works, because sitting there, it's easy to say that, I'll go there and figure something out. But when you come here, first thing, I was lucky enough because I came on a partner visa. My husband has a sponsorship from his company where he works. So I came on a sponsorship visa. One good thing is that you don't have to, have a specific anything else to be able to work. Even on a partner visa, I was able to come here and start working immediately.
Right.
That one issue I didn't have. But if you are looking to come here, you need to have somebody to sponsor you. Your company has to sponsor you to come here. Finding that sponsorship, they will give for the right candidate, but I can't say that every interview you will get offered the same.
Right, of course.
So it comes with its challenges. I thought, yeah, I have my CPA, I have my CPA. It's going to be a piece of cake. But then it did take me a lot of time to just understand what scope of stuff I can work for, or, where I can apply for. And even with the pandemic made it even worse because they want you here physically, so that they can be sure that you won't have a problem once they hire you, that you won't be able to come to work.
Right. Of course, they would. So, my takeaway from whatever you said right now would be that, people who are actually thinking of moving to abroad for that matter, they need to first know the profile they they're interested in. And then, like you said, if you're wanting to work for a longer time there, having an ACCA would also, make your chances of getting a profile better.
So it's purely based on what you're looking for and how good you are able to tell the person you're working for that
how important you are,
capabilities,
like what you can give,
what you are expecting,
what's your value, right?
This is what I'm bringing to the table. If you are the right candidate with the right right experience, they may take you even without asking for a local qualification.
Right.
So in audit, the reason I'm going back to audit is because my husband worked in 3 different countries so far. And he's been an auditor. So that is where I come from, because it was easier for him to move than it is if you're working in a niche market, like a tax role where it differs from each country, to audit where it's a bit more universal. You need to still learn your IFRS. You need to still learn the compliance issue, but I feel it's a little more universal. It's not as niche as a tax market. That's what I'm coming from.
So, so basically people, if you actually are dreaming of settling abroad, working abroad, you should kind of broaden your perspective on knowing what the market is like, first and foremost.
Definitely. You need to know the market. You need to build up your experience to show that, see, I know that you're looking for this, but I am capable. This is the work I did, and this is what I can show for myself. So I'll be the right hire, right fit. I'm the right person to bring onto the table.
Right. Absolutely.
So, and yes, there are different ways people try to get out, but it is not as easy as it looks. For a LinkedIn profile to update that is much easier than what it actually takes to get to any country.
So true. So, what's that advice you would want to give people apart from preparing for exams, clearing CPA and getting a license? What else would you want people to start doing? Like if from day one they are kind of dreaming to go abroad, settle, let it not be UK. Let's talk about US, Dubai, or Australia for that matter. Anyway, what's that one thing, or according to you, they should start doing from now? To be like, all the countries have their own people to hire. So why should they hire someone who's an Indian, even if, the person is a CPA?
See, the 2 things I would say. One is your experience, build your experience. Second thing I would say is build your network. You will, India is a huge country. You will have Indians working in a lot of places. If you take that step to, message them, say a hi, be cordial to them. They're not obliged to help you out, but you can approach them in a way that they feel like, I can help them out. The questions seem right. I'll help them out. I'll see what I can do. Build your network. If you have questions, get in touch with somebody who you think is the right fit to answer your questions. Because at the end of the day, only a person who has been through that will be able to give you the answer you're looking for. And your experience speaks when you're going for an interview. Be prepared to be going for multiple interviews when you're going to a new country. It won't be disappointed that you didn't get in through the first interview. It'll take time to understand. Maybe if you don't make it a 2-3 month plan that I'll be there, I'll settle there in 3 months. Keep it a long-term plan. Do your research. Ask people how they got there, or what are the ways in which they can get there. Work towards it as, maybe a year's goal. I'll take this year, I'll build up my experience, I'll build up my connections. I will search for opportunities. And then you say, I worked through it, and then I'm able to go, or I'm not able to go. Just don't make a 3-month plan. In 3 months, I'll be there. It doesn't happen. It is very rare that it happens.
Very true. So it's a long-term thing. So you need to have the patience.
See, for a CPA, on your CPA, I'll be very frank, on a CPA, you will not get say you want to go to US, you won't get your US visa.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
You need to bring something more than your CPA to be able to go there.
Right.
And that is your long-term plan.
Networking. I mean,
you need to build up a network.
That.
You need to ask people. You need to, unless somebody has been through something, you will not be able to know what he's been through.
Right.
Unless you ask the right questions.
Very true. Very, very true. So I don't know. I mean, if you had mentors like yourself for Simandhar people, but we are glad because, people have after this US CPA, they are conducting exams. We have our exams here every month. So it's I wouldn't say the want, I would say more like the need actually. The need to go abroad, people have started feeling it's like a need of life. So, you giving...
There's another thing as well.
Yeah.
If you're working for a big four, they do send you after a certain level, they do send you on a secondment for a few months to see how the culture works.
Okay. So even that's an opportunity to be...
That's an opportunity. Yeah. Because they did in the team I worked for, they did send once you become a senior, that is 3 to 4 years based on which level you enter in. 3 to 4 years after you enter, you've gathered enough experience. They do send you for a secondment outside the country to wherever. So people in my team went to Canada. They worked in Toronto offices and some other offices in Canada. Right. So it's another, when you're working in a team, you need to build up your relationships. Then even when you're networking, you need to, be in a position that you can ask somebody to help you out, figure something out.
Right.
Networking is very, very, very important.
Very important. Very true. From everything you've said, that's what I caught, network. Build yourself. Like you said, the first thing is experience, which you are building yourself, and network is you're building your network. That helps.
And especially when you're working in big organizations, there are people who come from varied backgrounds, who've done various other things, and they're there for a particular reason. They've been through stuff. Even if it's in your office party, you're meeting somebody, build a network. Start talking with them. We can't be shy and expect people to do stuff for us. You need to talk to them.
I mean, very true, very, very true. So that's the question. That's all I had for you for this time actually. So now that you said, your weekends are also, you're busy. So, but then still thank you for doing this.
It's more or less that you need to get your stuff done for the rest of the week during the weekend.
Right.
Or you're meeting friends, or you're traveling, it happens. And it's really cold right now. You cannot do anything past 5 because 5 is, I'm talking a fast stretch. By 3 o'clock, some days there's no sunlight anymore.
Okay.
You want to go for a walk, there's no sunlight.
So anyway,
so you try to cram everything during the day.
Yeah. So even after all that, you kind of gave us this time. So, we are actually, genuinely thankful because like you said, people need to know this. I really feel in India, we are just taught to clear exams. We are just taught to clear CA. We are just taught to clear CPA. But no one really talks about building yourself and your network. I mean, this thing I'm just hearing, I mean, how many of us join LinkedIn before we start working? I mean, I'm sorry to say, but I still have friends who are not on LinkedIn. Okay. I am only on LinkedIn. You can find me online only on LinkedIn. So, but people still don't get that, you're supposed to build your network. That's how you grow professionally. So that helps a lot. So the thing which you said, everything which you said was really insightful. And Varshita, thank you again for doing this.
And thank you. I had to, postpone it a couple of times.
No, absolutely no. But then anyway, we at Simandhar Engagement Council, we are really glad to have done this with you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.
Have a great day. Yeah. Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.